Hi. So the next step closer towards the pole is the focus. Now let us see what will happen if we consider an object placed right at the focus of this mirror. Hmm. Which two rays can we take? Now we can take the ray which is parallel to the principal axis, and it will pass through the focus. Now you might argue that there is this point, okay, but in these diagrams we can kind of neglect the thickness of the base, and therefore this light won't get obstructed and it will pass through the focus. Okay, yeah, that's what will happen. Now another ray we can take. Okay, now we know one thing, right? That if a ray passes through the center of curvature, it gets reflected again and passes through the center of curvature. It retraces its path. Okay, now what if an object is placed? So let me draw this just for a reference. That's what will happen. If this ray passes through the center of curvature, it will retrace its path. So I'm drawing this light because this is just a rough work. Now if I place an object, okay, somewhere on this path, on the path of this ray, what will happen to the ray which is emitted by this object? Will it follow the path of the previous ray, of this ray which passes through the center of curvature? Yes, it does travel, and it's very easy to see that the mirror won't differentiate between a light coming from the center of curvature or light coming from an object in its path. Can it differentiate? And so the ray will retrace its path, and while retracing, it will cross the center of curvature. It will go through the center of curvature. Now, can we use this in a diagram? Yes, we can. You can use it in a pretty efficient manner. Okay. Now, which path can we take? If we consider this to be emitting light, which path shall we take? We can take this path, okay? Yeah. So, if we consider object emitting light rays in this direction, okay, somewhere like this, something like this, a bit straighter, then it will retrace its path. So the light will go there, reflect, retrace. That's what will happen through the center of curvature. Okay, and that's what happens. Now these rays are very nearly parallel, so they're almost parallel. And where do parallel rays meet? Well, they don't meet at any point, or they meet at point which is really far away. And in physics, when a point is really far away, we call that to be infinity. So parallel rays actually don't meet at some point, but we can say that they are meeting at infinity, a point really far away. And these rays are very nearly parallel, so they also must meet at a point which is at a very large distance from this focus. Now we consider that these two rays, if they meet, they will meet again at a very large distance from the mirror, and we say that these rays meet at infinity. Therefore, the object will form at infinity. Okay. So again, let me write down the image properties, characteristics of the image. Now again, if is it real or is it virtual? The rays meet, they're actually meeting. It's a real image. Erect or inverted. This object is clearly above the principal axis, so this head is pointing above. And if these rays meet, the head will point downward. So this is the head; it will point downward. Okay, so the image will be inverted. What will be the size of such an image. Now, if you notice things carefully, these rays will go on and on, okay, like almost forever, and the distance between the principal axis and these rays will keep on increasing. So, for example, this distance is very, very small here, it will increase and will keep on increasing, and when they will meet, it will be extremely large as compared to the object, and then we say the image is highly enlarged. Okay, you can call this highly enlarged or enlarged if you wish. So very big image will form, and of course it will be inverted again where it will form. That's right, it will form at infinity. We call, if an object, if the rays are meeting at point the large distance from the mirror or really far away, we say that they are meeting at infinity. So their image is formed at infinity. In this video, we saw what will happen if the object is. So let us see what happens if we move closer again to the pole, between the focus and the pole. What will happen? Now again, which rays can we consider? Now this ray is might be unusual, but it's a little hard work. If we consider the ray from the top of this object, so from this point A, this is called point B, from A to the pole. Now why this? Because we can easily measure the angle of incidence, and again we can use the law that angle of incidence equals angle of reflection, and see how will the reflected ray interact. If I draw this, it will go somewhere, okay, yeah, pretty equal, and it will go somewhere in this direction. Okay, now second ray, in the previous case we did it using a reference line CA passing through the center of curvature and touching the top of this object, then reflecting from the mirror. So again, if I draw this something like this, okay, this is a reference line, you can say. Now again, if A emits light in this direction, it will pass through the center of curvature, so the ray will reflect and it will pass through the center of curvature. So this is something straighter. That's how the ray diagram look. Now we are in a little bit of problem here because the rays are diverging in nature. Till now we have seen the cases where the rays actually meet at a point. They are converging in nature, and in this case the rays are diverging. So if a person is here and if it looks towards the rays, what will he see? He will see that, or the brain will tell him that, okay, if these rays are diverging, they must come or diverge from a point. So it will look to the person as if these rays are diverging from a point. So if we extend these rays backwards, pretty straight, and this one too, they appear to meet at this point. So we can call this point as, let's say, A dash, and the convention is that whenever the image is forming behind the mirror, or a virtual image in this case, because the rays are diverging and they don't meet at a point, we draw that figure using dotted lines. Okay, so we can use a few more dots there. That's how we usually draw. and again of course B will lie on the principal axis, so this will be B dash. Now again, what are the properties of this image? So is this image real or virtual? Clearly the rays are diverging, and so the rays can't meet. If they are diverging, they have to meet somewhere behind the mirror. That's the only possible way they can meet, and the rays can't pass through the mirror, so they appear to the observer as if it is coming from this point A dash. Therefore the image is virtual. And is the image erect or inverted? Clearly the image is erect. The head of the arrow is pointing upwards. Now let us consider the sizes of this image. Again, if you compare AB and A dash B dash, A dash B dash is larger than AB. Therefore we can say that the image is enlarged. And again, where it is formed, we can say that it is formed behind the mirror, okay, or behind the pole. So whichever you can choose, I choose behind the mirror. These are the image properties, and these are all the cases of concave mirrors. So in the next video we will see what are the how the image is formed when we have a convex mirror. So thanks for watching, and I hope it helps.